Yes, I think today is day 29, so a little more setup, and then we shall begin. Six. Off we go. I'm going to say start off by closing your eyes, putting your hands, rest them on your lap or wherever's comfortable, and probably feet on the floor, or if you're lying down, wherever's comfortable. Just, you're not concentrating on your breath. You're just kind of just sitting there, not sitting. And what I'd like you to do is to concentrate on the bottom of your feet and to see what sensations you feel there. You can feel the pressure of it, feel if there's anything, feel your pulse. You can, how hot or cold it is, where they are, feet. Okay, next we'll move up to the calves, and sometimes it's good to kind of like tense them and then relax them just to get some of the tension out, and then see what the texture's like of the clothing on them, whether there's any differences between the left and right. Can't feel tension in them, whether you can relax them a bit, but just kind of sit with them. And next, moving up to the thighs. Now I'm going to presume you're seated for this bit, and should have differences obviously where you're seated. You'll have feeling of the seat on your legs, backs of the legs, and if your hands are resting on your lap, then you'll feel the heat from them. Then just trying to see whether there's any tension. If there is, sometimes it's worth tensing them and then just for a couple of seconds and let them go. Not too hard, just like flex them a little bit, let them go, and then see whether you can feel differences in the left and right, what the texture's like of the clothing, what the pressure's like of the seat. Okay, next we're going to go up to the lower back and the feeling of the lower back against the seat, and what that's like, whether that's warm or cold, or what sensations are there, what textures of clothing and stuff's there. Okay, now to the stomach area, and see whether there's any little niggles in there, whether it's hot, cold, any sort of tension, sort of sensations at all in there. Next, we'll move up to the upper back. This isn't the shoulder area, this is the upper back and kind of mid back, upper back, and seeing if there's any tension there, if there's any pressure against the seat, whether you can feel like the clothing, whether there's different, pressures on different areas, concentrating on that. Next, we'll move around to the chest and see what sensations are there, what cool texture of clothing, necklaces, other jewelry. Now we'll move to the shoulders, and I want you to, if it's not painful for you, to rotate them a little bit, just to move them around. They're usually pretty tense with computers and keyboards and things. And just move them around a bit and then kind of let them drop, and then see what sensations you can feel, whether you still have some tension in there. I know I do, depending on the day. And see whether there's any differences between the left and right, whether there's any hot or cold sensations, the things you can feel, and just concentrate on those things. Now I'd like to move down to both biceps, that area of the arm, below the shoulders, and see what sensations you feel. For me, it's the heat of my body against my arms, and there's heat differences between that and my t-shirt. For you it could be different. What sensations are there? Is there any texture differences? Are they against anything? Hot and cold? Differences between the left and right? Okay, now we move forward to the forearms. And what sensations are there? Hot, cold, textures, sliding on anything. If there's any tension. If there is tension, I would just use them and then relax them, and then see whether that tension can relax that tension a bit. If there's any textures or anything there. Differences in left and right in terms of strength of sensations or what the sensations are. Now I'd like to move down to the hands and what you can feel there. Hands may be pulsing, they may be tingling. Mine today are pulsing. How hot are they? Do they feel hotter than whenever you started? Do they feel different, more relaxed? And with that, we'll move all the way up to the neck and try and relax the neck a little bit if you can. It's quite a tricky one to do. Obviously, you've got your head upright, so it's quite difficult. But you can still scan for sensations and things. Any hot and cold, anything that feels different from one side to the other. Okay, next we're going to move up to the facial area and start with the jaw, and I would move it around a little bit and then see whether you can get it to be relaxed. Whether there's any tensions there that you can kind of sense, and then whether you can relax those or whether you can't relax those. And just moving up from there to generally the eyes and the rest of the facial muscles. At this point, I would recommend you close your eyes and to allow them to relax, because relaxing them while open is both difficult and it'll make your vision go funny. But it does take some time to be able to relax your eyes. That's why I think it's better personally to have your eyes closed, because then it's easier to detect. Concentrate on the muscles. And it's also a good idea if you are using monitors and things to do this at least once an hour, if not a little more. Give your eyes a rest. With the muscles around there, you want to see whether there's any other sensations, whether anything feels tense or whether there's differences between one side and the other. And from there, we'll move up to the top of the head and how that feels. What sensations are there? Hot, cold? And we'll move back down again to the eyes and the jaw. Try and relax both. And at this point, something a little different is to try and scan up your feet, see what they're like. Calves, see what they're like. Your thighs, see what they're like. Lower back, your stomach, your upper back, chest, your shoulders, biceps, forearms, your hands, and just try and see whether you can take a little step back from them and see how many of those you can focus on. So what we'll do is we'll start from the feet and concentrate on the feet, then try and bring in the calves. Well, so you're doing both at the same time. Then the thighs, and then the lower back, and the stomach, and then the upper back, and the chest. Don't worry if you lose, say, like the sensations of the lower feet while we're going through these, or other bits kind of fade in and out. The idea is to try and focus on the whole thing. But that takes a little practice and time. The shoulders, the biceps, forearms, hands. And if you are beginning, I would recommend you just try and focus on one limb at a time. Well, when I say one limb, I mean both sets of limbs. So say your legs or your arms or your entire back, and see whether you may be naturally good at it, be able to do more than that. At this point, you should feel, I mean, I say should, but I mean may feel a little different, maybe a little more relaxed. Normally, when you're doing this, you breathe slightly slower. And at this point, I'll come back into the room and I'll just kind of explain some of the things that I do while I do this. My breathing tends to be a lot slower when I'm doing this, so I breathe in. I either adopt box breathing, which I have a explanation for there, or I do what will be termed where you breathe in and then breathe out for longer, which puts you in a more relaxed state. That's kind of similar to Zen and things like that, because they breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Other forms would be, they don't see it as that, but like the chanting is very much you breathe in and then you chant for longer than you breathe in for. Now the chanting has another purpose as well, but you wouldn't probably best off going to a local Ichi Daishonin place. I'm not sure I've got the link to that, but you can just look them up. They're pretty good. I wouldn't be, I've been there, done that in Liverpool, and I would strongly recommend it, especially if you're having problems. It creates like an impetus because they're usually good places to go to. So with COVID, it would have all shut down, and then now it'll be restarting. However, so the reason I do this is, well, I have had 2 therapists recommend it because I have issues. And so far, this is day 29, and I would recommend it. I mean, I'm no medical doctor, that's for sure, but like, yeah, technically I'm a doctor. Just not a one that helps people. Yeah, I would recommend it. I recommend doing it every day, even though I only stream it 5 days a week. I would recommend it every day. I found it useful so far. It tends to be relaxing, even like today where I actually did it live rather than the pre-recorded version. Because I've been using a pre-recorded for a while, and just because I thought it was going to be different, and as it turns out, it's the same. Because I tested it today, I wanted to see what it was like. I thought it might just have been I was uncomfortable streaming it, but as it turns out, it's fine. I can do it and still relax, so I'll just do it live from now on. So I would, if you're struggling with, depression and things like that, it might help. I mean, it's not, the scientific stuff is, helps with some anxiety, helps with some mental health, but it's not perfect. Body scan's the least likely to cause you problems. That's why I've opted to change to that, because I thought the chanting version is fine if you're in a group, obviously, because you're not going to be causing yourself issues because you're in a group. So they can, if you have a problem, there's people around you. The actual Zen one is probably best done in a group too. There are Zen schools around who'll, after a while, you've been doing it a while, they'll probably have you concentrate on koans and stuff. I'm not, I like Zen, but it's not for me. I think body scans for me because I have alexithymia. So the body scan means that I'm concentrating on my body, and I have found differences. And my therapist has thought, oh, that's why you're beginning to pay attention to X, because you're paying attention, via, meditation. So that was day 29. Guided body scan. Live too, I guess. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing later on. Probably music. Yeah. That's probably what I'll be doing. Right. And I think that's it for this stream. I will cut that up and then post it. Post it up on the thing. Means I don't need this right now. Right. Okay, well, I will see you all tomorrow for whoever's going to eventually watch this. Be.